Well, good evening. I'm so happy that you can all be with us tonight. We love getting together on these Zooms. Of course, it's always best to be face to face, but this is the next best thing. And how can we all get together from all the different places where we're from? I'm Julie White from Pennsylvania, and just thrilled to be here tonight. So glad that you could join. I encourage you to invite your friends to these Zooms because they're truly just are going to give people so much hope and make such a difference. And I'm going to share my screen here a little bit tonight because I'm thrilled to introduce one of my favorite people to all of you. And I think most of you know our dear beloved Jackie Sheppard, but my computer's a little slow, but hopefully you can all see this. And I just want you to be able to see a little bit about Jackie because she has a fantastic background, but most importantly, she has a fantastic heart. She has a heart to make a difference. And she is, I look at Jackie as like our LifeVantage mom. And so she's an author of this fabulous book called Silent Takeover. You can see the cover there. It can be found on Amazon like everything else these days. So I encourage you to get a copy of that. She's a counselor, educator, mother, grandmother, and writer. She and her husband, Glenn, who is phenomenal, they live in Missouri on a 10-acre farm. They have lots of sheep. And sometimes she's out in the pasture tending to those sheep that got away. And she's the founder of a private high school, a former journalist. She started researching and working with children and teenagers in the late 60s. And for the past 50 years, her extensive research, experience, and concepts concerning the body and the brain have transformed many, many lives. So we are really thrilled to have you here, Jackie. It's always an honor just to be able to hear from you. So let me see here if I can get back to our Zoom so that we can see you. Okay, Jackie, I'm going to turn the time over to you, my friend.
Thank you, Julie. When I was thinking about tonight, I thought, perhaps we'll have some guests on, but if we have guests on, I'd have a little bit of a different message, but I really want to concentrate tonight on how you can impact lives. So let me see your hand. Just put this up if you're a guest. And Julie, you count with me. How many guests do we have?
So how about if you, sometimes I have a hard time seeing those hands. How about if you type in the chat box, a 1 if you're a guest and a 2 if you're a distributor. So
that'd be great.
Okay, I see Marie is a guest. So we have at least one guest. And if you see someone who is a guest and you want to type it in the chat box, that is fine as well. I'm seeing mostly 2s, but we do have one guest so far that I'm seeing.
Darlene East is a guest tonight as well.
That makes 2 guests. Let me see here if I see anybody else that might be a guest. There is a Zoom user. I'm not sure who that Zoom user is, but we do have a couple of guests, and it could be that somebody might still jump on as well. That could be a guest, but it looks like we have at least 2 guests so far.
Okay, what I want us to concentrate on tonight, and we will be talking a little bit about our company and our science and so forth, but we're living in just one of the darkest times I've seen in my soon to be 80 years. I've never seen people as discouraged. I've never seen as many people concerned about their health and about their wealth. And there's almost this feeling of like, when is the next shoe going to drop? And as we move into Christmas, the stress has even seemingly gotten higher for people because they're possibly facing Christmas with financial stress, as well as not just a lack of money, but a lack of time, and a lack of how do you just live in the circumstances we're living in. Where do you put more toys? Where do you put more clothes? And when you think about that, you're like, well, there are plenty of people without. And many of you this Christmas will be doing things to help people who don't have what you have. And I just want to bless you for it. But you have something, those of you who are distributors, and if you're a guest, you have some friend who's invited you on. You have something, some knowledge, some understanding, some experience, some practical know-how that can impact someone's life right now. I had no idea 13 years ago that I was going to be able to impact as many lives as I have, often from just this little office here, sometimes meetings, sometimes flying here and there, but mostly right here. I had no idea how many lives were going to be impacted by a decision I made. Julie mentioned my background. I knew about free radicals in the early 80s. And knowing about them in the early 80s and studying them for all these years, when I saw the ABC Primetime Report, I knew that there wasn't anything like this in the world. Now, our two guests, I want you to please put in the chat box if you've seen the ABC Primetime or if you have not. You can either put a yes or a no in the chat box, because we're not going to take the time tonight to watch it, but I'm going to need a commitment from whoever invited you on that you will watch this tonight if possible. You need to understand that you're among the few people in the world. Now, we have a lot of people in the world, but you're among the few people in the world who know about this breakthrough product. So I'm going to give you, I goofed up a little bit on some of the slides I was going to show you. I'm going to try to bring up one thing, and if it doesn't come up, it's not going to be a big deal for me, okay? Because I had some other things up, and then when I went back, I lost what we were going to do. In fact, Julie, will you bring up activatewellness.us? Can you bring that up as I'm talking? Now, the only advantage I had was that I knew about free radicals when I was asked to watch the ABC Primetime Report. I did not know enough. I knew about multi-level marketing in the sense that I had some good friends who had done well with multi-level marketing. And they had tried to bring me in and teach me the financial part, but I didn't have the passion. Even though I used a lot of their products, I just didn't have the passion for it. So even that day when I was watching the ABC Primetime Report, I simply the information was going over my head. I made a decision, guest, after I watched that video, and we're not going to watch it tonight, but I'm going to show you where you can watch it as soon as I get through. I made a decision right after I watched it. I thought, I'm joining this company. Now, people have asked me, was I concerned about it being multi-level marketing? No, I was delighted. I was delighted it was, because that meant that I could get this product without a prescription. It also meant that it was affordable and it was accessible. All I had to do was order it. Some of you know of the health issues I had at the time. I had short-term memory loss. I'd had a serious back injury, had been in chronic pain for 5 years. So in the next few months, as the cells in my body began to shift, and as the cells remade themselves as your cells do, I began to experience the best health I probably had in my life. I'd had a lot of illnesses, I'd had a lot of health challenges. And these last 13 years, I've just had remarkable health. The other decision I made that day was when when Dr. Gilkinson was saying goodbye to me, she offered me a little pack of the anti-aging cream and said, try this. And I said, no need to give it to me. It'll break out my face. I'm very sensitive skin. She said, no, try it. So I mentioned to a girlfriend I was talking to, I said, I've got some samples of some stuff I'm going to give you because you may like it. And she said, why aren't you going to use it? I said, oh, you know me, it'll break me out. So she said, Jackie, for the next 3 days, just put it right here. Put it on a part of your face and see what happens. I did what she said. In 3 days, I could see a visible difference. That was 13 years ago. I've not missed a day putting the anti-aging lotion on my skin. But as our laboratory, if you think of our company as a laboratory in epigenetics and nutrigenomics, if you think of our laboratory as going straight from the laboratory to the consumer, you get a better idea of how this works. The lab creates or buys something for us. We teach you about it. And most of us, when we find out we're getting a new product, we can't wait because we know it is going to be the top. We know that it's not going to be secondary to anything out there. And when we talk in a few minutes about our collagen, you're going to be like, collagen, everywhere there's collagen. No, no, no. There's only one place that has collagen like we have. Now, when I look back at the pictures of my skin from, say a decade or 15 years ago, I actually look younger now. But the collagen has taken me to a whole new level. And it's not just in the lessening of wrinkles and this type of thing, but when you're almost 80, you're losing the infrastructure in your skin. You've seen us, these old lady arms and so forth. So to be able to turn back that clock has been remarkable for me. There's nothing better you can give your, if you're looking for some out there shopping for a gift, shop in your own office. Give them some collagen, give them anti-aging, give them some Protandem. So as we're talking about impacting lives tonight, I did not know that I was going to impact anybody's life other than mine. But as my life was being impacted by these products and these companies, I just had to tell people about it. And I want to give you an easy tool because there's a lot of money to be made. Now, if you don't need money, and sometimes when we're talking about these products, people will say, I can't afford them. And then when we say we will help you make income, you determine, do you want to just make enough income to pay for your products? Or do you want to become financially independent? And sometimes the person will say to me, oh, I'm not interested in making any money. And they've just told me they can't afford the products. So it's okay to be interested in making money. It's okay to make money. And as I've said sometimes, if you make money and you didn't want to make any money and you don't want the money, send it to me. I'm happy to have it. So if you are needing finances, if you're watching any of the financial gurus, you know that you're being encouraged to have home businesses. The day of going to the offices and so forth is over, may never come again. It was already shifting, but now after COVID, people are working from their homes. You have an opportunity to B, it's like a franchise in the sense that you get to own your own business. You're a private contractor, you own your own business. It is an international health business. You can help people in actually all over the world through our global customer program, but you can especially help people in a number of countries. And here in America, it's my belief that if you're 18 years and older, you need to be taking our products. If you're 18 and younger and you have ADD, ADHD, autism, mental emotional disorders, addictive disorders, whatever, you need to be taking our products. So Julie, let's share that screen now, because I'm going to show you an easy way to, one, get educated, and secondly, start sharing with people. This is a new website that our wonderful Renee Parker has been putting together for us all to use. You'll notice at the top, it's called activatewellness.us. So write this down if you got a pen and paper, and when you come to these Zooms, you should always bring your pen and paper. Activatewellness.us. Now, when you come down here, you're going to see the little ABC primetime report. I'm going to bring it up for you. Julie, you may have to bring it up. Is it going to let me do it? But we're only going to let you get a glimpse at it, because we have other stuff we're going to do tonight. So when I get off tonight, you can go to activatewellness.us. This is the short version. If you want to watch the longer 12 minutes, and I encourage you to do it, you can go to YouTube. Now let's look at some of the scientific studies. And since I've been working with children and teenagers and people with mental and emotional illnesses for over 50 years, Julie, can you get combating oxidative stress to pop up? It's not wanting to do what I'm telling it to do. There you go. It's important to me to have the science behind what I'm saying. I don't want just an opinion. I want the science. So if we can get that up, you can sit down and listen a little bit about that. Julie, if you'll, I'm just going to give them a little sample of each thing. So can you pop out of that? I don't know why it's not. And then as you go through, how can I, now that's you, activate wellness and longevity, but I want to substitute something there. How can you help the people you love activate wellness and longevity? How can you help your neighbors, your friends? You have information, if you're already a distributor, if you're already learning, you have information that you don't need to let your personal pride keep you back from sharing. You just need to, you can take them to this website if you want to and say, listen, I care enough about you that I want you to have the best health and that you can have. I want you to have longevity and wellness. Hop on here and let's go through this together or look at this website. And then when they start saying, and I want to order this, but I don't have the money, or I want this collagen product, but it's so expensive, encourage them to take a chance on life. You know, if you don't attempt something, then you'll never know whether or not you can be successful. I had no idea at all I could be successful in network marketing. I didn't expect to be. I expected to make maybe $20 a month. But because I was struggling so to figure out how will I pay for 2 bottles, which at that time was $80 plus shipping, the $20 was important to me. So I thought, I'll probably make $20 a month doing this. I'm terrible with stuff like this. I can't sell. But over the period of time, I began to feel so much better myself that I wanted to help people. And that's all I've done. When people have said to me, how did you become a Pro 8 as rapidly as you did? I simply have to tell them the truth. All I did was help people. But quite often I show them these scientific studies. Julie, will you click there and see if they'll come up for us? This is just a few of our studies. This first one simply indicates about the superoxide dismutase, what it was going to do. The study on oxidative stress and health, and this first one was when they couldn't tell the difference in age-related markers between a 20-year-old and a 40-year-old. I believe this one is on how oxidative stress drops an average of 40% in 30 days because of the increase in superoxide dismutase. The increase in LifeVantage study, if you're watching that little ABC primetime and you hear them say studies are underway to see if mice live longer, 13-year study. But what did they figure out? It increased the lifespan of a mouse by 7%. You're like, so what difference is that to me? Whatever they find in a mouse, that's why they use them in these clinical studies, more than likely they're going to find it in you. So here we have the circulation, the American Heart Association study that says that Protandim, our first little flagship product, we have so many now. Every year the company gives us something new and wonderful, that it would reduce heart disease by 50%. That's amazing. That is amazing. How these others we're not going to go through a whole lot, but I want you to look over here at this last one, All National Library of Medicine Studies. This is where we go to pubmed.gov. If you come to many of our meetings, you're going to hear us quoting something from the National Medical Library about one of our products. This is one of our products. And our other products, Julie, you can sort them down. It's not letting me work. Our other products are just about as amazing, and especially this new collagen. Our flagship product works by activating the signaling messenger between damaged DNA and your survival genes. It's a little transcription factor that sends a little molecule messenger over here to your survival genes. Then your survival genes simply say, cells, get on your job to heal that damaged DNA. It sounds simple, but it's a little bit complicated. Julia, I want to go back just one, as I said, it's not letting me go back just a little bit. I wanted to read something. Come on, right here. Nope, come on down. I probably am not going to be able to find it. It is the sentence that says that the Washington State University says that, here it is, you're right here. We may be on the verge of a new literature on health effects of NRF2. That's that little signaling molecule I told you about, which may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. It is our opinion that raising NRF2 is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future. Now, guests, did you see that? Do you have an idea what you were invited to hear about tonight? So you're like, why didn't my doctor tell me about this? Well, I think it's now well over 1,000 doctors that are telling their patients about it. But your doctor won't know unless typically someone tells him. And you might be interested to know that many of the doctors find out about this because their patients have made so many improvements in their lab test. So they look at the lab test and they're like, well, this is the best lab test I've seen out of you. What are you doing differently? And when they say, well, I'm taking this little yellow pill, the doctor will say, what is it? And that's when it's important to take them to these scientific studies. Even though we have a lot of incredible anecdotes, we have so many personal stories. Almost everyone I know that's ever taken any of our products has a personal story. we also have the science to support it. Okay, Julie, go down just a little bit more on this page. And keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going beyond, then keep going a little bit. Hold off right here. Now, in this, we have some personal testimonies. Go back one more slide, one more section, Julie. Just one more. Okay, this is where I want you to stop. What is NRF2? Now, you can go on and study. Julie, you can stop sharing right now. You can go on and study this. If you can read, you can study this. If you can send an email to people, you can build a business. If you can send a text message, if you can do Instagram. The people who are blowing this out of the water are using Facebook. One of the things they're doing is they're putting some of our incredible pictures of the improvements with our collagen on Facebook. And people want to know what it is. Julie, if you have one of those, just throw it up there for us while I'm talking. Now, as I was going in and out of stores for the last few years, I've been seeing collagen everywhere. Well, I was smart enough to know that more than likely, if you were going to have to digest the collagen, that you probably were not going to get the kind of benefits you needed. Julie, you can just keep showing them while I'm talking. That you were not going to get the benefits you needed. Could you get some? Maybe. I had hopes that maybe those bovine or chicken collagens might improve the gut, but I just wasn't seeing it in people. So I made a decision that I wasn't going to buy any of the collagen that was out there because I just didn't feel that it had enough common sense science behind it. So when I found out that our company was coming out with collagen, in fact, we were always intrigued because when we hear we're getting something, we have to look into it to find out how is this different. When I found out that our collagen, that little bottle of liquid, activates your body to increase your own collagen. And again, it's going to take the production of that collagen back to, quite frankly, probably the levels of your youth. Now, these are real life pictures that people have taken. I'm watching all sorts of things happen with me. My husband loves it. By day 3, he told me his knees were better. And I actually said to him, well, honey, I think that's too soon. By day 4, I was saying, you know what? I'm beginning to feel the results of this new collagen myself. So what are we encouraging you to do? We're encouraging you to improve your life, to improve your health, to improve your well-being, to improve your appearance. And just as important, we're encouraging you to impact other people's lives. You hold in your hand this very night the power and the knowledge that you can extend to someone else that may turn their health around. Or maybe it's going to help their child with learning and behavior problems, who knows? But to hold back on this information usually is because you're afraid of rejection. If I tell my friends, they'll think I'm trying to make money off of them. You know what? Do I think Dr. Gilkinson called me that day to make money off of me? I don't think so. I think she called me because she knew I had been studying ADD, ADHD, and autism, and she wanted me to know that the new product that she had just heard about was in research for ADD, ADHD, and autism at a university. She had no idea that an old lady with a bad brain and a bad back was going to become a leader in the company. In fact, neither one of us expected this. And when I call myself a leader, it's simply because I was one of the first elites. And what is an elite? It's a person who's reached a certain level of product volume every month. I want to give you a commitment tonight. if you want to build this business, we will help you, but you're going to have the time in your life. And I have an idea that most of you have watched enough TV this week and you didn't make any money watching TV. I have an idea that other people have been watching enough ball games that they could have built a Pro 7 business over these last few years, and they didn't and they weren't paid a dime for watching those ball games. You got to make a decision to find the time in your life to be trained. I often say, even if you get a job at McDonald's, you're going to have to be trained. You think you know how to make a hamburger, but McDonald's is going to teach you how to make a McDonald's hamburger. So everything that we're talking about is up to you. We would love to impact your lives with better health and with income to whatever you want it to be. But we can't do it without your cooperation, and we can't do it without you finding the time in your life to set aside to learn, to attend events, to invite your friends onto Zooms, and to find a way into the need in their life. I think right now you could make a list of 25 people that you know that either have health problems or that you think they need better health. That same 25 people probably need extra income. So we're going to stop for some questions and answers. And Julie, if it's all right with you, I want people to sort of talk to me tonight about what's holding them back on building their own personal success with our company. So you may want to turn off our recording.